Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today we're going to be looking at the latest release from Leatherman Tool Group. This is the Leatherman Arc Obsidian. And I got to tell you, this is probably the least excited I've been about a new release because frankly, it's not a new release from Leatherman. It's the Arc, just in a different DLC coded color scheme. So there are a couple of little things that are new with this one. First of all, they do include the pocket clip, which the Leatherman Arc did not come with out of the gate. They also include a nicer sheath, the Heritage sheath, and it has a slot for the bit sleeve to go in the back. So this is the first time that I've ever recalled Leatherman making a leather sheath that would actually house a bit holder. It would have been nice had they had added a spot for, at a bare minimum, their standard extension. That would have been considerate of them to do that, but it didn't happen. So we'll go through the tool set of this to show you everything that's within the Leatherman Arc Obsidian. But if you're familiar with the Leatherman Arc, you might as well skip over this because there's not a lot more that you're going to learn off of this tool. Let's get into the tool set of the Leatherman Arc Obsidian. So as we go through this, I'm going to run through this fairly quickly. One thing that's changed from the Leatherman Arc Obsidian opposed to the Leatherman Arc is that they included a pocket clip with this one. They didn't include that with the standard one. And then let's work around the outside tools first. One of the things that makes these two models so expensive, the Arc and now the Obsidian, are the fact that they use a very high quality steel with a CPM's Magna Cut, and it is also includes a thumb stud with it. And this is one of the most premium steels on the market right now. It's top 5 for sure, and in a lot of people's books it's going to be top 1 or top 2. So it is an excellent steel for a multi-tool. In fact, in my opinion, it's probably too much steel for this type of tool and is better served in a high quality knife. Nonetheless, as we work through the inside tools, we have the can opener. Next to that, we have the bit exchanger, which was a welcome addition into the Arc. Next to the extender, you have a bent piece of metal down there. So let's open that back up again. You can see that bent piece of metal down there. And what that does is when you close this tool, it keeps that bit in place so that when you're using the pummeling surface here on the back, when you're causing impact with it, it won't allow that bit to fly out of there, which is a nuanced thing, but it's nice that they put that in there. Then next to that, we have the saw blade. Leatherman saw blades are always done extremely well. I've done a number of tests on a number of different models, and they all work pretty much the same, except for, little differences in the length of the saws makes minor differences. Then on the opposite side, we have a welcome addition to the Arc and the Obsidian. This is the file. So you have the diamond file, the edge file, and the crosscut file. And next to that, we'll just go ahead and fan all three of those tools out. So we have the bottle cap lifter integrated into your large screwdriver. This is 1/4-inch screwdriver, also works as a light duty pry tool. You have the micro driver holder, which holds the micro driver, or some people like to call them the eyeglass driver bits. These are reversible, has a triple aught on this side. Not sure how small the flat is on the opposite side, but they work very well. And then the last of the inside tools on this side is going to be the awl. And this also includes an integrated wire stripper, but the shape of it limits its ability to work on a wide range. So you have to work on pretty small wire. It does work. I just wish they could have designed that slightly differently to allow for at least up to 10 gauge wire would have been nice. One thing I do like about the awl is it's built out of some fairly thick steel there, so it has quite a bit of strength to it, and it's a nice welcome addition into this series of tools. And then finally, the last tool on the outside is going to be outside accessible scissors, which a lot of people like very much, including myself. Now, because of the frame size, they can't do it quite like you would do a Leatherman Surge, where they have a T-shank adapter, because it just wouldn't allow enough usable length on a file and a saw. But the Surge is able to get a 5th tool into their outer 4 main tools, or their outer accessible tools, I'll call that. And that is the knife blade, the serrated blade, the file, the saw, and the outboard scissors. With this one, it's not big enough for that, and so they have to get rid of one. They've chosen to get rid of the serrated blade, which I use the serrated blade a lot. So I kind of sad to see that one get dropped out of here, but I understand that probably more people would covet having scissors as opposed to that blade on here, and I understand the reasoning behind it. Then on top, I touched on this a minute ago. This is the pummeling surface or hammer surface. This is great for just light impact jobs that you need to do, and then the ability to do that with a flat surface on your multi-tool is kind of a nice addition. On the inside, we have the needle nose, regular pliers, wire and hard wire cutters that are replaceable. And then on the very back, you have a wire crimper. All of these functions work very well. We've tested them in the free. We've tested them in the Leatherman Arc. The only difference is from the older models to the newer models, and this is across the board of Leatherman, is that on the back side here of the wire cutters, replaceable wire cutters, they've changed the geometry back there. It has more of a curved edge to it, which leads to having a gap at the very bottom of those cutters. It can make it a real pain for cutting into hard wire. You have to physically check to see where you're at on the cutters and get them higher up so that it will actually get through the hard wire that you're cutting on. I'm going to touch on that in a different video, but it's something that I don't care for on all of the newer models. Now, the Obsidian is a very attractive multi-tool. It comes in at a price point of $275. For that, you get the DLC coated frames, you get the champagne color accents and the knife blade, you get the pocket clip, you also get the heritage sheath that we touched on earlier in leather, and then the bit sleeve, which did come with the original, but this is a much upgraded sheath to that multi-tool. The one thing that I wish they would have, I think for the price that if they would have added a little pouch here on the outside of the heritage sheath that would house a black bit extender, that might have been closer to justifying the price of this multi-tool. I think they're asking too much for what it is. This is a good $50 over the original Leatherman Arc, and I think they're reaching a little bit. I would have added just that one extra thing in there. That would have got it much, much closer to the price point. Of course, if you buy the heritage sheath separately, it's pretty expensive. It's probably about $25 or something like that. So there's a decent amount of value between the clip and this, and then the color scheme. I get how they're, but a lot of people are not buying this for how pretty it is. You know, they're buying it for the functionality. And so from a functionality standpoint, you're really not getting anything over the original Arc in the Arc Obsidian. Well, my final thoughts on this tool, it is a very attractive multi-tool with a very premium blade. It has a nice feel. It's easy to work with. It's very ergonomic. It's a nice color choice too. The pouch that comes with it, the leather case, I like very much because I like leather cases as opposed to the nylon cases. Nylon cases have a lot of functionality. Leather cases just look better and feel better. I wish they would have added in a place to put an extension. That would have made it all the more better. Then you could have put a black extension in it and accessorized this out a little bit more to give you both you know, aesthetic value and actual value. On the whole, though, I like this tool a lot, just as much as I like the Leatherman Arc. It's a nice color combination, but I don't think it's worth paying the extra $50 for. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.